podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 321 of Film Bastards. We live in a simulation. My name's Ian Loring, and as always, I am joined by
Matt Foster. Hello, everybody.
And Becky Foster. Hello, everybody.
Becky Foster's a little bit freaked out, and why? Because in the Patreon version, I just went on a rant about how we are in a simulation. If you want to hear that, $2 a month, patreon.com/filmbastards. Literally, there's like the show's about 22 minutes longer this week. More like 25 minutes longer if you listen to the Patreon version, and it is all gold.
Always all gold.
It is all gold. This week on Film Bastards, we are not reviewing Zombieland Double Tap because Mark and Becky went to see it and it was sold out. So we are going to review it next week. Instead, we got some Netflix watches. We have got Babak Anvari's new one, Wounds. We have got Steven Soderbergh's second film this year, The Laundromat. And we have got the latest Patron review, taking a look at Terry Gilliam's seminal classic, Brazil.
Ian, which number film is this of Steven Soderbergh that we've covered on the podcast since he retired? I think that irks me every fucking time we do one. It constantly bothers me. So we did Side Effects.
Right, no, Side Effects was like the one that you said was going to be his last before he retired.
Yeah, but he had retired a few times before that, hadn't he?
Had he?
But that was it. He was definitely retiring. And then we did Logan Lucky, Unsane, High Flying Bird, and we've just done Laundromat. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the space of around 18 months.
And what a fucking random assortment of films as well. I mean, High Flying Bird and The Laundromat, the kind of like the whole business focus of them, fair enough. But Logan Lucky, Unsane, and then High Flying Bird and The Laundromat. It's crazy. I'm looking forward to rewatching Unsane, and one day we're gonna have a conversation about that.
Yeah, I think I need to rewatch that because the more I think back on it, the more I think I am wrong.
So do I.
Yeah, I'm wanting to rewatch it because I genuinely want to be wrong about it. I want to watch it and go, yes, I was wrong. I knew I was wrong. I was clearly just being a dickhead when I watched it.
I tell you what, though, that and High Flying Bird are two really interesting examples of how different films can look when shot on iPhones.
Yes.
Because they were both shot on iPhone, weren't they? I believe. Yeah. But Unsane was like proper fucking raw, and High Flying Bird, he had like specially made lenses and all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
and
it was the most shot on an iPhone. And I know I'm doing bunny ears on a podcast, but shot on an iPhone film ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, bunny ears.
Is that what you call them?
Yeah, bunny ears.
Bunny ears.
Sorry, Bex, that's a thing.
That is a thing.
I've never heard it called that before.
That's your problem.
Well, clearly.
You often say that a lot of things I say are things. That is one that is.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
What was I going to say? I'm really looking forward to at Jordan's wedding getting my iPhone out and taking some wide-angle pictures. You can get some fucking weird shit, like weird fucking looking photos on my phone now. I'm kind of looking forward to playing about that with that when we've had a few.
Yeah, that could be amusing.
So, just to say, this is going to be the last episode released before Jordan and Lauren's wedding. I just want to say, from all of us, massive congrats to you both. I'm sure you'll be very happy. I'm very, very jealous of Jordan because he's getting a 55-inch OLED TV. But, you know, fuck you, Jord. But all the best, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolutely cracking day.
Is that the day he gets the TV, or is what in there?
What, the TV? Yeah.
And the cracking day, is that the day he gets the TV?
Oh, no. Well, I'm not going to say the thing I was about to say. I mean, both days will be fantastic days. It's just the fact that he's getting a fucking OLED.
You got so angry about that, are you?
It's going to look so good. It's going to look so good. One day. I can't complain about my 4K TV is my second 4K TV because I'm mental. No, or is it my third?
I think it might be your
I
third.
can't even remember how many 4K TVs I've had. That's really bad.
It's fucking bad.
No, I've had two. Or have I? No, I've had two.
Two?
Two. I've had two. Yeah, no, because I remember, like, I bought this one, then I sold my other one on eBay, and I was kind of surprised by how much I got for the old one, considering that it wasn't HDR, and I was actually really pleased, and I felt kind of bad, because I thought the guy who was buying it might not have known that. But, you know, I gave the model number and everything. It's like, you do a bit of research, so never mind. But, yeah, Jordan's TV, it does Dolby Vision. It does, obviously, HDR. It looks like an absolute banger. But also, congrats, Jord, because you're punching above in terms of TV and wife.
Yes.
I kind of went off on a weird trail there. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
So, we got any news this week? Anything happened? Tarantino has said, fuck you, China. I'm not censoring Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Good for Tarantino. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Yeah, so it was supposed to get a release in China, and then the family of Bruce Lee complained to the Chinese government, and China said, you're going to have to cut it. And Tarantino has said, nope, just don't release it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm sure he had to have a conversation with Sony about that, but, you know, good on him.
Well, the thing is, he has absolute final cut, so... the thing is, with the thing is, this happens a lot. China asks for things to be cut an awful lot, and a lot of the time, the stuff gets cut. There's times where if there's product placements in films and those products aren't available in the US, in China, those bits get cut out of films.
Right.
So often those kind of things can happen. Or for instance, I swear there's something like there's certain brand logos that they're not allowed to show in Chinese cinemas.
Would make sense.
Yeah. So then I want to say one of them was Apple, but it might not be. But I think it is. I think Apple. I'll show the Apple logo.
Oh, they got against Apple.
They don't sell Apple products in China, do they?
Well, no, they no, they do. I mean, one of the big criticisms of Tim Cook at the moment is the fact that he's kind of kowtowing to the Chinese government with so there was an app for tracking the protests happening in Hong Kong, and they got that delisted off of the App Store, and it was kind of seen that Tim Cook was basically just like saying, okay, China, don't fuck up our iPhone sales. So yeah, so that there is that. I mean, it's interesting because you've got this whole thing about how China seems to be buying more and more into Hollywood film, and the Hollywood studios are starting to get some backlash. Like there was some controversy about the fucking animated film I talked about last week, Abominable. Because what was it? It showed a map of the Tibet region which used a Chinese version of the division lines, which is really like contested in the area. And it again kind of that film was co-produced by a Chinese company, and which the company itself is actually apparently partly funded by the Chinese government. So it's all very intermingled at the moment. It seems like Hollywood's been happy to accept Chinese money, but now China's kind of turning the screws on what isn't allowed to be done. Like the South Park got in some shit. It's been basically wiped off the face of the earth in China because of an episode where they criticized China's response to I think an NBA coach tweeted in sympathy of Hong Kong protesters.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
South Park makes a joke about that. China wipes South Park off the face of the earth. It's like Winnie the Pooh in China.
Yeah. You're
not allowed to mention Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, because of his resemblance to the Chinese,
like prime minister, or it's fucking mental. So just back to the original point. Good on Tarantino for just stepping up and going, do you know what? No, I mean the whole Bruce Lee estate stuff is an absolute fucking trash fire anyway with that film. But the fact that he's basically gone, no, I've got a final cut, I'm not letting you do this. And I'm sure Sony will probably we'd really quite like that box office money. But then again, that film has performed really, really, really well. And it would be interesting to see if the film hadn't performed well, whether it would have worked out like that. But everybody's in the clear on that film. So I think they've just gone, do you know what, fuck it, write it off.
Yeah, that's it. They've gone, do you know what, we made as much money as we hoped we'd make. And the best way we can keep Tarantino on side with this is to just go, do you know what, we won't bother.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure Sony really want to be in the Tarantino game going forward, don't they? I mean, who wouldn't want to be?
That's it. It's going to be interesting what happens with Tarantino going forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, it'd be fascinating. Sorry, I just want to look up the worldwide gross on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 366 million.
Yeah, 360. Yeah, 66.
How fucking good is that for a near 3 hour long R-rated film?
It's mental that an R-rated movie's made that much.
I mean, in this day and age as well, just that is fucking fantastic.
It's been a weirdly good year for cinema in terms of films that have made a shit ton of money that weren't expecting to it. There's not been as many of the bombs that people were expecting.
Mm.
And I mean, that's the thing. The bombs that kind of had happened. It's like Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. It's opened to number one in the US, but it only made $35 million. But it's like, who the fuck asked for a sequel to Maleficent?
Well, that's it. We were talking about that when we were coming out of the cinema that we didn't see the film at, and we're saying, it's nobody cared. You didn't need to make it.
It just kind of feels like the first one did pretty fucking well worldwide, but it was almost like, right, we've done that. why take your chances again? I mean, like, Disney got burned by this with Alice Through the Looking Glass, and yet they still pressed ahead with Mistress of Evil. It literally feels like Bob Iger was under contract by someone to make a Maleficent sequel, let alone anybody else.
I do think that well, there's a big rumor that the push was from Jolie's camp. Was, look, she's under contract for it. She wants to make it. Fucking make it. And they kind of went, well, we're not sure. And then eventually they went, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Because we'll make a bit of money.
And Jolie's been behind it in terms of publicity. She's been doing the rounds, and you get the sense that Jolie doesn't have to do that if she doesn't want to.
I think she's looking at it and going, do you know what? I kind of want a career back.
Well, I mean, like, she's in the Eternals. That will fucking that will do wonders for her, unless it's a one film kind of thing. That would be interesting. Like, would Angelina Jolie actually sign up to a multi-film Marvel contract?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe she would in this day and age.
Yeah, she would, because she's tried to do the artist thing and the director thing, and I actually don't mind her as a director, to be honest, but it hasn't worked for her. So maybe she's looked at it and gone, do you know what? That hasn't worked. Maybe I do just look and go, do you know what? Fuck it. I've won an Academy Award. I've tried that. It hasn't worked. Do I just now go and try and get some fucking money in the bank a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying she's on a breadline or anything like that, but, you know, she needs to get back to being a name that can actually sell a film, because she was for a while.
Well, that's the thing, and I mean, she was above the title on the marketing for Maleficent, yeah. So they obviously think she's still got cachet, but
I think that's contractual.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'd imagine so, wouldn't you? But it was like, has she actually been in a big film since the first Maleficent?
No, she's not been in. She's not done a lot.
I mean, I want to watch By the Sea at some point, that film that she directed with her and Brad Pitt in.
Yeah.
Just because it kind of like there's an almost like Eyes Wide Shut-esque like morbid curiosity to seeing two actors in the kind of like the waning time of their relationship acting on screen together and seeing what that vibe is.
The weird thing is, she did so much for so long. She was very prolific from like the late 90s, from like 99 up to like, you know, 2011, and then literally since then it's been a handful of things.
Yeah, it's just odd career, and it doesn't feel like it quite popped for her directorially. It'd be interesting to see if she gets another shot. It's one of those things where it's like talking about female-driven comic book movies and stuff, and it's like Angelina Jolie directing a comic book film could be quite interesting. But I don't know. We'll see. But it's like, I don't know. 20 years ago, she'd be doing fucking Margot Robbie type shit. Like if it was her 20 years ago now, she'd be doing Margot Robbie type stuff, and that could have been interesting. But we got Margot Robbie instead now, so it's quite a good swap, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Which, segueing in beautifully into trailers.
Yep.
Bombshell.
Interesting. I'm interested about the film. The trailer is a decent trailer. Again, I'm getting irritated with songs in trailers at the moment.
Everything irritates you.
No, yeah, true. But I'm getting irritated by songs in trailers where I'm listening to it going, what? Why? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit.
What song is it?
It's some Billie Eilish song, but it's a bit like...
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit like, right, you've tried to choose... You've chosen an artist and then found a song for the trailer, rather than just going, we're going to put this... It doesn't... trailer doesn't need to have a song. That trailer doesn't need to have a song over it.
No, and it's quite overpowering on the trailer,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But I'm very much looking forward to the film. It's got 3 actors who look like they're really fucking up for this movie.
Mm.
It feels like 3 actresses who could take up 30% of the entire actress nominations in the Oscars.
Mm.
Like it really does. I mean, like, and also in terms of like best makeup and hairstyling, it kind of feels like what the fuck competes with Charlize Theron in this year.
Yeah, but then again, I still always go back to the American Hustle thing. American Hustle was not nominated for best makeup and hair, and that film is 70% makeup and hair.
Yeah, but it's 30% science oven.
Huh?
It's 30% science oven.
Fair play.
I want to watch American Hustle again. I enjoyed the fuck out of that, and I've got a feeling I still would.
Yeah, I really liked American Hustle.
Yeah.
I will happily rewatch that.
Bex, have you seen that?
I don't remember it very well. I remember not liking it as much as you did, though.
I liked it. I don't know. I question how good a film it is, but I really liked it. It's preposterous. It's a film that's very much. I remember it being a film that very much is in love with its own vibe.
Yeah.
But it's got a science oven.
But it has a science of them.
Science oven? I don't remember.
We'll rewatch it next.
Okay.
We can't rewatch this week. It's got an awful lot of Terminator to watch, but we'll rewatch it.
We've got so much Terminator to watch. I'm literally starting the first one tonight.
Well, we have already started.
Yeah, we've done the first.
We've done the first one, but that's it.
And then we've done the next one.
Fuck off, Lex.
All the non-canon ones.
I bought Genesis on iTunes. To be honest, I'm already thinking I fucking just watch it because it's 4K. I watch it and then I just get a refund.
It's on Netflix, so that's why we're watching it.
Excellent.
But it's 4K.
It's free.
Yeah, that's true. You beat me there. Yeah, Bombshell. It looks like a good, important, in speech marks, film to watch, but it looks like it will be entertaining. Bex, any thoughts?
Yeah, I actually think it looks pretty good, to be honest. It's not really the type of film that I would normally go, ooh, but yeah, it does look quite good.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. Is there anything else? It kind of feels like it's been slow.
No, we were just saying that.
Yeah.
Earlier we went to look for trailers. We're like, there haven't been anything. There's been Bombshell, and that has literally been it. It feels like the past few weeks have been a little bit like cinema's gone. We're just having a bit of a break. We're just going to have a bit of a break. Everybody, plan your holiday time, your annual leave, right, for like the last week in September, sometime between that and the third week in October. Just take it there because we're just gonna power down a little bit before Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think we'll start ramping up a bit. Like it's odd. Dark Fate comes out over here a week before the US, and so does Doctor Sleep. So it kind of feels like maybe next week we won't get much, but then the week after for Dark Fate in the US we'll get some stuff, and then the week after for Doctor Sleep in the US we'll get some stuff. We'll see though. Like I know Star Wars Rise of Skywalker trailer is due tomorrow, and there's been rumours for a while that a Bond teaser is forthcoming. So it kind of feels like we'll start getting some things soon. And to be fair, Bond's out in fucking April.
Shit, is it?
Yeah, like they probably need to drop a teaser pretty soon on that, considering we're like 6 months away.
Fuck yeah, I didn't realise it was April. I just assumed for some reason it'd be like November or something like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Valentine's Day, and then it got delayed. Did Craig have another fucking injury or something?
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, so then they had to delay it. But yeah, now it looks like it's going to be April. So, which is a great time for a Bond film. because it feels like that's a time where you can have no competition around it. Release it around Easter and just fucking bask in those fucking bank holiday numbers. It's a good plan from Universal. That fair play. Okay, cool. So, well, let's get into it then. I mean, we've been recording for nigh on 50 minutes if you listen to the Patreon version. So, this podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate Network. Chinstroker vs. Punter put up their top 10 horror films episode today as we record. I think his film, her movie, I don't think have released this week, but, you know, wedding prep, so fair play. Okay. And, we are podsyndicate.com. Come and join us. So, Wounds is directed by Babak Anvari and stars Armie Hammer, Dakota Johnson, and Zazie Beetz. And this concerns a guy who works in a bar, played by Armie Hammer, who finds a mobile phone after a ruckus is caused in the bar in which he works. And he takes it home one night and he sees messages on there which where somebody in a group chat is talking about something being with him. And let's take it from there. So Wounds is on Netflix, premiered at Sundance in January to not great word. It's directed by Babak Anvari, who directed Under the Shadow, which got some really good word a few years back. Interesting film. It felt very indebted to Del Toro in its kind of subtle, real world, fantastical horror. Have you guys seen Under the Shadow?
No.
Very different from Wounds. But yeah, I am fucking fascinated to see what you two thought of this. Bex, Wounds.
I actually really quite enjoyed it. I wanna rewatch it, to be perfectly honest with you, to kind of see if it explains itself any better than I feel like it did. The major flaw obviously is it doesn't explain itself very well. There's not an awful lot of kind of explanation as to what's going on. But atmosphere wise and like vibe wise, I really enjoyed it.
I'll be honest, this does kind of feel a bit like Beck's Nip to me, because it almost feels like it could have been based on a short story by Stephen King.
It's based on a novella called The Visible Filth.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I liked it. It was creepy. There was bugs. Mark has a massive phobia of cockroaches, so it was fun to watch him squirm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really quite enjoyed it. I thought it was well, like the performances in it were good as well, but it just doesn't explain itself very well. But I'm weirdly all right with that.
Yeah.
What was that noise?
It was my alarm going off.
Right. Okay. Why have you got an alarm set for 7:32 on a Sunday night?
I haven't. I've got a 10-minute timer set so that I can go take my biscuits out of the oven.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. Well, you go do that, and I'll ask Mark what he thought of Wounds.
I really liked it up until a point of where I went, all right. It left me a little bit. It left me a little bit flat. And the thing is, it's not the ending that left me flat. I'm fine with the ending. It's the way the last shot is constructed that bothered me and left me going, oh, right.
What, the fact you can't really make out what exactly?
I can get on board with that. I don't like the fact I don't like it when stuff hits the lens, essentially, and hits the screen.
Okay.
It bothers me. It takes me completely out of a film. It takes me out of it. Because I'm not playing a first-person shooter. That isn't a first-person shooter. Those things aren't landing on my face. It completely takes me out of it. It's a reason what takes me out of, the big long the long shot in Children of Men,
Sure.
where they're running from that place to the other place and everything's kicking off.
When the dirt and the blood goes on the camera.
Yeah, it bugs the shit out of me.
Oh, that's great. Why?
Because it's not a first person shooter.
It's the in the shit vibe.
I never buy the in the shit thing. That's just an excuse for shaky camera work.
That's harsh, man.
It's what has always bothered me about Children of Men. It's why I it's a great film, but it's why I have problems with it, and that I have problems with the end of Wounds for that. The thing is, for Wounds, again, it's atmosphere and it's the performances, and I enjoyed spending time with Armie Hammer's character. But the thing is, this film, it's what it does is it seems to start spinning a load of plates and then just go, I can't be fucking bothered anymore, and just walk away from them and do something else. And it's like you're watching going, but wait a minute, the plates, what's going on with that? And it's going, fuck it, forget about it. I'm going to try and pull this rabbit out of this fucking hat now. And you're going, so we're done with the plates then? Yeah, fucking ignore them. I'm just going to pull this rabbit out of this hat. You're like, right. So you're not going to do anything with all these things that you've set up. We're not going to address the fact that he's clearly an alcoholic. We're not going to address. There's too many things to think of now that it doesn't. The threads that it starts, that it just doesn't go any fucking where near. Dakota Johnson. I'm baffled as to why she read that script and went, yeah.
I thought exactly the same. That woman doesn't need to do this. I mean, to be fair, Armie Hammer doesn't either, but she does not need to do this film.
I can see why Armie Hammer's gone, all right, yeah, okay, I'm interested in that. But Dakota Johnson, it's literally, and the only thing is I think she's read it and she's gone, well, that's not really, I don't really know why there's not really a part there or anything like that. And Armie Hammer's been sat next to her and gone, go on, we get to hang out in New Orleans for 3-4 weeks. We'll get shit-faced. I promise you. I'm supposed to be drunk all the time. We'll party. And she's gone, all right, fair enough. Yeah, go on.
I mean, I to be fair, I mean, like, Under the Shadow was a film that seems to get a good bit of notice. And to be fair, Anvari's gone to, I believe, her second film. And it's like Annapurna are behind it, and I could see Johnson maybe reading it and going, I don't quite see what's there on the page, but I think she's got an interesting style, and let's give it a go. But it's Johnson's character is symptomatic of the entire film for me, because it's either she's absolutely playing what is needed, which is completely disconnected, does not give a fuck about the man she's living with, and the only time she ever really gets animated is when she chews him out in her final scene.
Yeah.
Because that is her final scene, isn't it? When he says, I'm leaving you.
It is, yeah.
Or, I think we should break up. And then she just chews him out.
At one point, he literally turns around and says, to JDB, that she doesn't love me anymore. She doesn't like me.
Yeah, but I mean, that's it. And it's like, but then, so it's either she's just playing that completely, or she's just like horribly, what the fuck are you doing here? And I can't decide which. This film is so messy.
Yeah,
it is so messy.
It is, because I was talking to Bex about it after we watched it, and it was. It's weird because I can't actually tell you what the actual fucking story is, other than he finds a phone, there's some stuff on it. That's it. And then
if it wasn't for the fact that Dakota Johnson sees the stuff on the phone, I'd say all of the supernatural shit was in his head, and it's just like him just completely losing his mind.
Yeah.
But
unless, does anyone else see her? Is she in a scene with anybody else?
Well, yeah, he drops her off at...
But you never see her, do you? You never see her, what is it? He drops her off. She never has any other interaction with the film with anybody else.
She hugs that Steve guy, the professor.
But that's from his viewpoint.
No, that's true. I mean, there's a massive unreliable narrator thing going on with this film. And it seems to really suggest that in like the last 5-10 minutes or so, when he's just completely gone off the reservation. But before that, like you say, plate spinning all over the place. But if you do read it like that, then it's like the black car that's following him around, and like he mentions it once and then it's never brought up again. It's like maybe that's just because it's his addled mind. His relationship with Zazie Beetz, it kind of seems like at the start that they've known each other for a while, but who's to say that like it's like she's just someone who's been in the bar for a couple of times and he's really, really just gotten attached to her. Who's to say? There are a number of readings of this film, but I don't think that's intentional. I think it's just because the film is so incoherently constructed.
Yeah, it's messy, and at points it has a very much. I know it's the second movie, but it has a very first film vibe to it. In the sense that you can look at it and go, it's got a very film student-y vibe to it.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a criticism, but I get the feeling the bits that the filmmaker thinks are interesting were the least interesting bits to me. And if it had been a different actor, then I wouldn't have been as interested. But I enjoyed spending time with Armie Hammer. I was mildly perturbed that he was wearing a T-shirt that he dropped his missus off at college in, and then wore throughout the day, then wore through the night, then slept in, and then wore the next morning. It's a bit like, dude, take the fucking T-shirt off.
What an odd thing to pick up on.
It felt like he should have taken the T-shirt off.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I don't know, I really liked spending time with it, but I can't quantifiably say it's a good movie, because I don't think it is that good a movie.
No.
No, I mean it's not a good it's not a good movie. But it's annoying as well because there are aspects of what could have been.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, I think I said to you, Mark, in the WhatsApp, but it's like that last shot. Just that last sequence. I wish the rest of the film had moments that were that batshit.
Yeah, that's it. It is. It's frustrating because you look at it going, it doesn't do any. There's been an awful lot of images on a phone movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, right. This one doesn't. It's not that it doesn't even do anything new with it. It doesn't even do anything with it. No. They're just images on a phone, and then nothing else happens with it. It's.
But that's what leads him to like investigate it, isn't it?
But he gets nowhere.
Yeah.
At all.
and just, you know, he's reading up all this stuff about like wounds being portals or whatever. And it's like, okay, but how does that relate to the head, like the heads on tables? Yeah. And like that shot of Dakota Johnson like looking at the screen and her looking all fucking pale and shit, and then putting her in that bar. I mean, this is just how messy this film is. You got that whole sequence where it does that, and he puts her in the bath, and it's all bloody, and then she kind of comes out of it, and then the next morning, it's like none of that ever really happened. But oh, by the way, I think we should break up.
Yeah.
It's like just what the fuck.
It's so all over. It does feel like there's a. It feels like a movie where it's gotten away from the director.
Yeah.
But like, she wrote it as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's like there's a. But it's from a book, isn't it? Or a novella. So it feels like I'd like to read the novella to see how different it is. Mm. But it seems like the somewhere there's a 2.5 hour cut of this movie that makes even fucking less sense. Not that makes more sense, that makes less sense. And she's gone, right, well, I didn't go anywhere with that, so I'll have to just cut that bit out. And I didn't go anywhere with that, I'll have to cut that bit out. And I went somewhere with that, but it didn't work, so I'm going to cut that bit out. And it's got to it and gone, oh, this is what I have.
Yeah.
And you look at going, right, so you were making this big sort of massive 3-course meal with all of these different ingredients and all these things, and what you have left is a hamburger bun and some udon noodles. What's going on there? Oh, there's a cockroach walking across it. What the fuck is going on with this? And she's going, I don't know. I don't know either. Will Netflix buy it? Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got Annie Hammer's face on it.
That's the thing. It's like I don't think Annapurna have sold a film to Netflix before. I might be wrong, but I don't remember them being a big Netflix one. It kind of almost feels like they got behind this thinking, right, A24 have got that prestige horror shit down. We want a piece of this. Yeah. We're gonna have Armie Hammer. We're gonna have Dakota Johnson, Zazie Beetz. We've got a director who made a really well-regarded horror film a few years back. Let's do this. And what happens? Wounds happens. And it has to be sold to Netflix.
As well, before it got sold to Netflix, it was, and I think it did a little bit of festival bits, it had a fucking great poster.
Oh, yeah, the image of Hammer on the phone.
Yeah, which is more interesting, and a more interesting image than pretty much 99% of the images in the film. But the things, I'm watching it going, I would watch a Armie Hammer has full fucking alcoholic breakdown movie. I would watch that. That seems like a more interesting movie than the movie that's being made.
Well, that's the thing. I would watch the next 20 minutes following the final shot where he just goes down the fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I want to watch that film.
Yeah.
I don't really want to watch the film where he has a kind of a thing with Zazie Beetz and has like one of the least energetic breakups of all time. Even though Dakota Johnson's fucking chewing him out is the one moment where it was like, okay, cool, I'm glad Dakota Johnson's in this.
Yeah.
Just the whole fucking, just like when he's like that, the whole, her just going, yeah, okay, and him going like, I thought you'd be a bit more upset. And it's just like, she's just like, well, I was a little bit hurt, but you know what? Now I'm just fucking angry. You are hollow. You love nothing. You can't have anything because you don't want anything. You know, just that monologue is so good. And she does so well with it. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing in this film, Dakota Johnson? Because you are too good.
The issue I have with Dakota Johnson in this movie is Dakota Johnson takes a lot of shit because she made the 50 Shades movies.
Yeah.
So she takes a lot of shit that, not because she made it up, because she did it. It's the same thing as the Robert Pattinson, the Kirsten Stewart thing. It's guilty by association with those movies. Whether or not people, it's from people who didn't even watch those movies, who will just pick it. And I love those fucking movies, so I'm allowed to fucking say this shit, right? But one thing that she often gets phrased at is that she's low energy.
Yeah.
And that she lacks personality. I think it's complete fucking bullshit. Completely. But the problem is, for the first half of this movie, it kind of backs that theory up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not her fault.
No. Well, that's the movie, isn't it?
That's the movie's fault. So I'm a little bit annoyed at the casting of that because
Just gives people more ammunition.
it gives people more ammunition. I like Dakota Johnson as an actress. I think she's a great screen presence.
Mm.
But then the thing is, you realise with that final monologue that performance is, I think, is completely intentional because it is.
Absolutely.
She's just done with him, but she loves him. She wants to see if he's just going to work out this shit. But as soon as he says, "I think we should break up,"
she's like, "Thank fuck."
Yeah, just like, right, yeah, cool, all right.
Yeah, it's a little bit like at least one of us has had the balls to say it. The thing is, Armie Hammer and Dakota Johnson in a movie seems perfect because Dakota Johnson seems like if she were a guy, she'd be Armie Hammer, and Armie Hammer, if he was a girl, he'd be Dakota Johnson.
Mm.
You know, neither of them have to. Neither of them are ever going to be jobbing actors. They've chosen acting as a profession because it's something they want to do. Neither of them have to work.
No.
You know, they both come from wealthy backgrounds. They're both very, very smart people. And they're both very, very beautiful people. But to that, it seems perfect. And it kind of is when they're on screen together.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching them on screen together. But I'm not sure if that's because I enjoy watching both of them on screen or because I enjoyed watching them on screen in this movie.
No, I mean, I think Armie Hammer is weirdly miscast because he doesn't look like a guy who dropped out of college to become a bartender and now he's an alcoholic.
But I think he kind of does in a way that it reminds me of not exactly, but My Own Private Idaho. The Keanu Reeves character in that, where he basically chooses to live that life, knowing that he can always just walk away from it and be fine, and basically says once he hits 21, that's what he will do. It almost feels, that character almost feels a little bit like this. I get the feeling he could just literally just go one day, yeah, fuck it, I need to go back to do this, and just sort his life out in a fucking instant.
I don't know. He's until the later stages of the film, he just looks too put together.
Yeah, it's Armie Hammer.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean that's the thing. He's not, because he looks really intense by the end of the film and haggard, but still kind of haggard, but chiseled. It's like chiseled haggard, and it's like he just needed to be a bit more schlubby at the start.
This is it. The weird thing about Armie Hammer, again, I like Armie Hammer, but he has a very way he can carry himself.
Yeah.
And so I think Armie Hammer's a very good actor, but he has a very strong confidence to himself.
Yeah.
And so when you take something like that, where it's supposed to be a guy breaking down, like you say, you don't feel that guy would break down in these situations.
Yeah, it seems unconvincing.
Whereas somebody like, for instance, Jake Gyllenhaal in Demolition, for instance, when he has that breakdown, Jake Gyllenhaal has a different way that he can carry that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think also you could put Enemy, Jake Gyllenhaal breaking down in that. A very similar in terms of tone and atmosphere movie to something like Wounds.
Should watch Enemy again.
Yeah, I feel like I need to watch Enemy again.
I was just literally getting my phone out to check if it's on anything.
It's a good show.
I think we might actually have it on iTunes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Kind of seems like we're wrapping up.
Yeah, I'm touching cloth because I don't think it's a great movie, but I was fine with it. So I'm a Geostorm.
Not so bad it's good though, is it?
No, but the
It's
movie's
not
bad,
good
but the performance. Yeah, I'm touching cloth on it.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. I'm touching cloth on it.
But
I will watch it again.
I enjoyed it and I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But I can't argue that it's a good film. It's gonna be cool.
I mean, I'm gonna go definitely shit, but I think there are moments of interest in there. In no way would I say it's one of the worst films of the year, but it's one of the messiest, and in terms of some of the moments that are in it, I think it's disappointing. Sorry, go on.
So I can absolutely agree with you on that. In fact, it is disappointing because I was watching going, this should be a lot better than it is.
It should be better, and it's even more annoying because every now and then there's a moment where it's just like, this could have been better.
Yeah. Our audience poll was definitely not shit, 0%. Touching cloth, 67%, and shit, 33%.
That sounds about right.
It does actually. That feels quite kind of fitting, to be honest. It feels like that. Yeah, I can absolutely see why you think it's shitty, and I can't. I don't blame you. I couldn't argue with it. But I think that we better think, because it is more your vibe, that you've got on it like that, and I just like Armie Hammer and Dakota Johnson. So.
Fair.
Are you tired of film podcasts where the hosts exist in a constant blissful state of agreement?
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
Well, you're in luck. Let me introduce you to Chinstroker and Punter. One is an ex-film student with a penchant for David Lynch and art cinema. The other is a man on the street. Listen in perplexed and horrified terror as we tear apart one film a week.
It just really
It's
isn't.
not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just that's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com. So come and share the victory.
If you could fuck any man in film, who would it be and why?
My answer is Lance Henriksen.
Oh!
He wouldn't tell. He looks like somebody. He looks like somebody who can keep a secret.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever? Putting 4 or 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, The Dark Knight has got like all the orphans, and like, oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Right, I'm going to go for a wee and get a couple of drinks. Do you guys want to maybe kick off some what we watched?
Yep. Boom, I'll let you start off next.
Oh, I can't go first.
You go first.
I got confused.
Just go Halloween 3.
Yeah, so we did watch Halloween 3. I've been trying to get Mark to get on board with some Halloween horror watching, and this was as far as I got. So Halloween 3 is fucking mental. It's completely unrelated to the rest of the franchise, apart from the fact that it shows a couple of shots of Halloween.
It was supposed to be, the idea for it was, they were going to take Halloween was not going to continue the Michael Myers story.
Yeah, it's going to be like an anthology franchise.
Yeah, that Carpenter would oversee. And then when this didn't perform as well as they'd hoped, that kind of got kiboshed.
It's a good time though.
It is a great time, but I think when the mistake they made was they took they call it Halloween 3, and then there's no Michael Myers in it.
Yeah. So
people went thinking it was, what is it? And it wasn't. It was more of this. It was a bit too zany.
It is quite zany.
I think there. You got Tom Atkins in it. Again, just playing. What is it about John Carpenter just thinking that Tom Atkins is a Lothario.
Oh yeah, he's in the Fog as well.
Fog, yeah, where literally he picks up Jamie Lee Curtis and then within minutes just fucks her.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing here. It's like just that woman. What's her name?
I can't remember her name.
Ellie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she literally just starts throwing herself at him straight away.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he's a terrible person. Like literally, he's there saying, "No, I've got to go to a conference. I can't get out of it. It's just a bunch of boring doctors. I got to go to a conference." On her way, I'm not. I'm gonna grab my sixer of beer off the top of the lot, is it? And I'm gonna go and get in the car with this fucking hot shit that I am literally just trying to nail.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to solve this thing a little bit, but nailing is higher on my list. And I'm Tom Atkins, so that shit is happening.
Oh, have you been watching Halloween 3?
Yeah.
Nice.
We're just saying it's the mentalness of how Tom Atkins is like a super fucking hunk.
Oh, where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice? Well, that's
Yeah.
a stupid question, Miss Grimbridge. It's the best.
it's mental. I thought this was right. So I'm sure I've said this on the podcast before when we talk about Tom Atkins, but this is how Tom Atkins' bio on IMDb starts. Handsome, rugged, versatile, and charismatic character actor Tom Atkins.
Fucking.
You write that himself, yeah.
I'm copyright. Honestly, I promise you, that is how it starts, isn't it?
It is.
The thing is, I like Tom Atkins, but Becky, is Tom Atkins that handsome? Like you've just met him. Fuck it, gonna throw yourself at him. Yeah, he's not, is he?
Yeah. Not a bad-looking guy.
He's not a bad-looking guy. No, I'm not trying to fucking hold the guy down. But he's no Armie Hammer, is he?
He's no Armie Hammer now. To be fair, I don't think I'd actually be able to form coherent sentences in Armie Hammer's presence.
I fucking wrote an article, The Sartorial Supremacy of Armie Hammer, because that's how good I think he looks.
He is a striking looking man.
He is.
Jesus.
Good looking boy.
Yeah.
But Tom Atkins, I mean, like, like, that character just feels like the kind of person who, like, he'd get up in the morning about, like, 7:30 in the morning and just take the most spluttery beer shit.
yeah. The thing is, you get the feeling that Dr. Dan Chalice, without question, stop showing me pictures of fucking Armie Hammer. if he were around now, he for sure would have Snapchatted his picture of his dick to questionable children.
Children?
Like, I'm talking like 17.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
Yeah, he in future fucked one of his daughter's best friends.
That's a sneak peek of the Laundromat, that.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. But yeah, Halloween season 3, season of the Witch, I do love it. It is a lot of fun.
That's a film that it's like I can only watch around Halloween, but not every year. I have to have a bit of a gap with Halloween 3.
I think it's one of the few ones that I can watch every year.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch Halloween every year.
Oh, I could.
I don't think I could. I need a bit of a break from it. But I can watch Halloween 3 every year.
I almost alternate between Halloween and Halloween 3 because I didn't watch Halloween last year, which is weird considering the new Halloween came out last year, but I'm pretty fucking sure I didn't watch it last year. But I know I watched it the year before, and I know I didn't watch Halloween 3 the year before, but I know I watched it last year.
You kind of like subconsciously leapfrog them.
Yeah, basically, yeah, which is odd, but it's that film, man, that is like, if that was a hit, that would have changed how horror worked in the 80s.
Yeah. It wasn't a box office bomb. It just didn't make anywhere near enough money. It didn't lose money.
No, but I mean, it did kill stone dead the idea of anthology.
Oh yeah.
Anthology horror films, kind of like big anthology horror films, like, you know, the rest of the 80s. I mean, Halloween 4, the subtitle for that, isn't it The Return of Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Where it's like literally they had to put in the subtitle like, he's back, don't worry.
Yeah. The thing is, it's Halloween 3. If you actually explain it to somebody, it's meant, for a starter, it's called Season of the Witch.
No.
There's no witches. And it's called Halloween, and there's no actual, like, there's no Michael Myers in it or anything like that. But then you explain it, it's like, well, what it is, there's this toy maker or novelty maker.
What it is.
What it is, yeah. Oh, fuck off. Who might be Irish when he remembers he's supposed to be Irish. And what he does, right, is he makes these masks that he puts a little bit of Stonehenge in, and then people's heads fucking melt and bugs come out of it and shit like that. Why? Don't know, really. Just why not?
The plan had a fatal flaw in it, though. This is playing all across America.
Yeah.
It's all supposed to be in like the same time in local time zones.
Yeah.
As soon as the first one happens, I mean, I know at the end of the film it's like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. But as soon as that happens in any time zone, they've got like an hour delay before it happens in the next time zone. Like, I think an hour, even in the 80s, would be enough time to go, this shit's fucking happening on the East Coast. Hey, Middle America, you might want to not put this fucking advert on.
Yeah. Then again, they might have gone, well, I don't know. He has already paid for it.
But I mean, like the West Coast, it'd be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It'd be like, right, it's the middle of the day. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean snakes are coming out of people's that have kids' masks?
To be fair though, you would be at that point. You'd be like, well, now I've got to watch it.
Well, that's it. I mean, yeah, maybe there's a morbid curiosity. It's like Ring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's it. It's a mental one, that. But yeah, I do love Halloween Season of the Witch, but it's one of those where you either connect with it or I think you don't. And I would say if you don't have an understanding of the horror genre and bits like that, it will not click for you at all. You'll just go, what the shit? That was shit. And you're like, right, fine. However,
I can't wait to sit Lottie down in front of it in like 10 years' time, and for her just to look at me and just go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
As you're there going, it's brilliant, isn't it?
No, but I just look at her and go like, I just made you watch that for the last 90 minutes because I knew you would say that.
Thing is, Isabel really likes it.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. Only got one other, actually, for this week. Have you got more? You've got more. You got more. I think I've only got one other. I think.
Really?
Well, yeah, you have a look.
I'm looking now.
No, fuck you.
Yeah, you didn't watch that one. Yeah, you didn't watch.
Will you go over yours then?
Okay. So I rewatched Paranorman. I fucking love Paranorman.
Paranorman's good.
It's great. And it's sad. That poor girl. Yeah, rewatched Paranorman. Part of it with Izzy, and then she got bored and went upstairs because she's not a child anymore. So that was interesting. It was a toss up between that and Monster House, and she was like, nobody's watching Monster House, I don't like it. So clearly she's wrong, and I'll just.
Is that how your daughter talks?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
More chabby.
She's not bad.
She's going through a phase. Watched Monster Squad.
Oh, you watched?
Nice.
Yeah.
Monster Squad's fun.
Monster Squad's a lot of fun, yeah.
It's daft, but it's fun. And yeah, apart from the biggies and the one that I watched with, we watched Zombieland. Are we gonna do?
We'll do Zombieland.
We're gonna do it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just the Patron and the other review, and Speed.
Speed, yeah, we rewatched Speed, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Speed's fucking great.
It's good. It's a good time.
Speed is fucking fantastic. Speed is a 5-star movie.
Sweet.
Yeah, it probably is.
It's. I think Speed's underrated.
Yeah, I don't know why though.
I don't know why, because it's fucking great.
Mm.
The story's fantastic. Hopper makes a great villain. The whole premise is great. The fact that the simplicity of it is brilliant. It's got a cracking soundtrack. Reeves is fantastic in it. It gives us Sandy B.
Sandy B.
You know, she's an absolute delight.
Oh, she's adorable in this one, actually.
Yeah. It's fucking great.
I cannot think of it as Speed now without my brain going, the bus that
couldn't slow
down. Yeah.
Even that adding to it makes it better. Yeah, it's. I'm not talking too much about Speed because what is it? But it is. I get the thing for some reason it just doesn't get the kudos that it deserves.
No, it's odd.
I think it's because it wasn't quite. It was before the Brockheimer revolution of action movies that took over for like 3 or 4 years, where all the big action movies were the big Brockheimer thing.
Yeah.
And also, it was before CGI took over action movies as well. So it was kind of like a bit of the last of its breed.
The score fucks as well.
Yeah, it's fucking great. It's very much like I know it wasn't directed by, but it feels like the movies that we don't get movies like this really made now.
No.
And the last person who made movies like this was Tony Scott, who was like, I'm still going to make movies like that. But no one wants to see them. Nah, fuck you, they do. They do if I put Denzel Washington in them. It's fine. And I think we missed that in cinema.
We missed Tony Scott in cinema.
We do definitely fucking miss Tony Scott in cinema. But yeah, fantastic. What have you been watching, Ian?
Okay, so I went to the cinema today with Lottie to see one of my most anticipated sequels of the year. It's not Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Farmageddon, a Shaun the Sheep movie.
I love your love for the Shaun the Sheep movies.
Right. First Shaun the Sheep movie is a proper fucking, like, almost silent classic. Farmageddon, Lottie literally said she'd give it 11 out of 10.
Wow. I hope that's good, not that your daughter can't count for shit.
No. She was like, 10 out of 10. No. I was like, what? No. And then she just started counting up in her head. And she was going like, 1, 2, 3. And she was like, no, 11 out of 10. I was like, you liked it that much? And she was like, yeah. It's just like joy. Both the Shaun the Sheep movies, they're just joy. They're so much fun. So this one, basically, how to explain it? Well, an alien comes to Earth. The alien is called Lula, and she wants to get home to her mum and dad, and Shaun the sheep and Bitzer the dog help. But also, the farmer on Shaun's farm sees that there's UFO craze going on in his town, and so enlists his other sheep to construct a theme park for him called Farmageddon. That's the story. But it's 89 minutes of sight gags, charm. I mean, one thing that I've never seen a film do before, but I thought was quite fun. You know, you've got like the Something Echo, like as a newspaper.
Yes.
Like the Liverpool Echo or whatever.
Yeah.
There's just a newspaper called the Echo, which I just thought was really funny. Like that's a good joke.
That's a good gag.
It's just the echo. I don't know. There's like an auto repair shop called HG Wheels. It's full of lovely little gags. There's a running gag about a guy who sees a UFO and drops his chips, and all he wants to do is eat chips. And it's just, you see this guy every like 15 minutes or so, and he's still trying to eat chips and can't eat chips. It's great. It's lovely. It's just a lovely, lovely little film, which, you know, if you saw by yourself in a cinema, you'd be looked at as really strange because, you know, it is for kids, but it's fucking funny. The dog's great. Bitzer, he's a champ. The farmer is fantastic, and they all speak in this like bollocks English where you kind of understand what they're going for, but they're just making sounds, and that's great. The sheep don't talk. None of the animals talk. It's not like the humans are unintelligible, but the animals talk. None of them talk, but you still get what they're going for. And yeah, by the end of it, massive smile on my face. There's a post-credits bit, which is fantastic. I actually don't want to spoil it for people who are going to go and see the film, but there's a post-credits bit worth staying for. And yeah, it just, the fact that the farmer gets these sheep to make this theme park, and then it's like this massive like build up to the opening of the theme park, and all these people crowding around, like going like to the entrance, and then they walk through, and the theme park is just as shit as you would imagine a theme park devised by a farmer and built by sheep would be. In fact, those sheep like punched above their weight. They did good work. Those sheep did good work, but that farmer has no vision. So yeah, Farmageddon, a Shaun the Sheep movie. I'll be honest, I don't think I liked it as much as the first one, but Lottie gave it 11 out of 10, and it's not made for me. So the fact that I enjoyed it as much as I did, I just think is a bonus.
Yeah.
It's better than Abominable. I'm sure it's better than Maleficent. We're gonna go see the Addams Family next Sunday, but I'm pretty confident this will be the half-term film to beat.
There's a game coming out of it for Nintendo Switch, isn't there?
Don't want to show Lottie that at all because she'll want to spend £30 on it.
Gotta work out how I can show Lottie that.
She wants to buy the new Luigi's Mansion, and it's £50 when it comes out, and it's just lots. You're just basically gonna play it for half an hour, get stuck because you can't read properly yet, get me to play it, and then shout at me because I'm not doing the thing that you want me to do.
Sure, that's just parenting.
But I've basically stopped playing video games with her at this point because she's weirdly kind of like gone out of them, and I'll be honest, playing with her is frustrating as shit. So I'm fine with that. I watched Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap, but we'll probably talk about those next week anyway. Blair Witch. So, thank you. Last one for me this week. But yeah, Adam Wingard's Blair Witch. It was $1.99 on iTunes. It's in Dolby Vision, so I was like, fuck it, why not? I didn't like it in the cinema, but who knows? It'd be cheaper than a rental. Blair Witch isn't great. Last act's kind of interesting. There's a sequence with a girl trying to squeeze her way through like some kind of catacombs that are like increasingly small, which is pretty fucking tense. But beyond that, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that it's a sequel to the Blair Witch Project, where it's the younger brother of Heather actually trying to find her. All right, that's a good premise, but the way that it relies pretty much solely on loud noise jump scares and a little bit of body horror, it feels really uninspired, which is mental because watch it. There's like an hour and a half making of documentary, which Wingard and the screenwriter Simon Barrett seem really, really enthused about the whole thing. And it's like they obviously gave a shit, and they said that they basically wanted to do a kind of almost like a theme park ride version of Blair Witch with just like a lot of like booze and whatnot, and it just that doesn't feel like what the first film was going for in the slightest. I mean, Blair Witch Book of Shadows isn't what the first film was going for in the slightest either, but that film's fucking weird, and Blair Witch isn't. It's kind of dull. Also, I listened to most of the commentary on this because I'd heard it was released after it came out at the box office, and Wingard and Barrett are apparently quite bruised about it, and yeah, they are.
Oh,
it's odd. Yeah,
it's quite low energy then.
Like literally the first 30 seconds, they kind of talk about how it came out and hasn't done very well, and like one of them's like joking about saying to their friends like, we're number 2 at the box office, and it's almost like they're calling out how ridiculous it is that they're disappointed that they have a film that opens at number 2 at the box office.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's still a hint of, but we're really fucking pissed off it wasn't number 1. Yeah, it's just such a fucking misfire, and it just the marketing campaign of that film still annoys the fuck out of me, where the quotes on the trailer were from one reviewer, Brad Misker, for Bloody Disgusting, and I'm fairly sure he or like somebody who used to run Bloody Disgusting had a producing hand in the film.
Yeah, that was the thing. I remember that.
And it's I remember like ranting at him on Twitter about that at the time, and I think he maybe replied to like one tweet and then basically just didn't bother replying to the rest, which was fine because I was pissed. But yeah, Bloody Disgusting founder and VHS producer Brad Misker on blah blah blah. Brad Misker, yeah, okay, so he was the one that those quotes came from. But yeah, he is a friend of Simon Barrett and Adam Wingard's. I'm just having a look here on Reddit now. So yeah, he was a producer on VHS, which Wingard and Barrett had a hand in.
Yeah.
And it's like so that's just the fact that you got these positive reviews, and it's one positive review being quoted in the trailer, and it's literally from someone who had previously worked with them. Like is that not just like unethical from his point of view? Like, I get why the marketing department did it, but does he not think that's a bit dodgy that I've written that review?
No, I think they were that much entrenched in it. There was a little period, wasn't there, for a good sort of 4 or 5 years. We had like a little group of writers, actors, directors, and a little, that were, there was like Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett and the Ty West, and there was a few others where they were very much like they were in each of those movies, or they were writing and producing each of those movies, doing all that, and it was very backslappy with it, and it kind of felt a little bit that felt like they were doing a secret sequel to Blair Witch, and it was massive and like that, and then the fact that it was shit, it took all the air out of all their balloons. And then, he did Death Note after that, didn't he? But he's doing Kong versus Godzilla.
Wingard is, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's weird because Barrett literally hasn't done anything since Blair Witch. And they worked with each other on fucking everything before that. But yeah, no, Wingard did Death Note. Yeah, no writing credit for Barrett on that whatsoever, and now Godzilla versus Kong, yeah. So I don't know. I hope Barrett's all right. It just kind of seems like that you have to wonder what happened there.
It sure went a bit wrong, didn't it?
Oh, should have won Best Supporting Actor for If Beale Street Could Talk's Brian Tyree Henry is in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Is they?
Oh, that's a weird cast, that is. Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Julian Dennison, Kyle Chandler, and Demian Bashir.
Lance Reddick's in it as well.
Oh, bloody hell. That's going to be fucking fascinating, considering how, like, meh.
Gods and Monsters was.
King of Monsters was met with. It's, is anyone actually looking forward to this film? I mean, there's some fucking hubris that Godzilla vs. Kong was, like, filming when King of Monsters came out, and so just the assumption that it was going to be a success.
And it technically, I don't even think it's made money back, has it?
I need to have a look at this, because that just feels like a film that's been completely fucking forgotten.
170 to 200 million budget, so let's split the difference and call it 185 million.
What, worldwide?
No, that was the budget. Worldwide, it only made 385.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's one where it kind of feels like they maybe just about got away with it, but now they've sunk a further probably couple $100 million into Kong versus Godzilla. And it's just after... Did you see King of the Monsters? I can't remember whether we reviewed it or if I just talked about it.
I think it was just something else out that week, something like that. Yeah,
like, it just... I don't know. I actually don't know whether I can be arsed with Godzilla vs. Kong after King of the Monsters. Like, that film was just so... That's 2.5 hours of my life I will never get back. That I don't know whether I can be fucked to waste it again on Godzilla vs. Kong. And I liked Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I like Kong Skull Island, but I'd never watch it again.
I like to watch it again.
I think it's one of those where I like it in my head now. I think if I rewatched it, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is shit.
It would give me an excuse to rewatch the Peter Jackson one. I do kind of want to watch that again. So
that's John Voight Roberts. He hasn't done anything since, has he?
No, he's been developing the Metal Gear Solid movie.
That's it, yeah.
He really wants to do that, but Kojima's busy with Death Stranding, the film where you have to stop and the game where you have to stop and pee.
Yeah, because everyone needs that.
I'm looking forward to you talking about Death Stranding, Bex, but
you hard out.
Just fucking whatever. Anyway, let's do The Laundromat. The Laundromat is directed by Steven Soderbergh and stars Meryl Streep, Antonio Banderas, Gary Oldman, David Schwimmer, Robert Patrick. Lots of people who just kind of pop up.
Yeah, Will Forte crops up for...
Will Forte and Chris Parnell for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Why not?
So this is kind of a fact-based comedy drama about the findings out of the Panama Papers, which were a bunch of papers released anonymously online about dodgy business practices. Antonio Banderas and Gary Oldman essentially narrate the film, playing the two men kind of behind all the dodgy dealings, explaining why they did what they did and how they did what they did. And they present kind of like almost self-contained stories about people affected by this, but with Meryl Streep running as a kind of a through line through that. Mark, The Laundromat. Doesn't exactly feel like Mark Nip, So let's see how this goes. What do you think?
I really liked it. I liked the humorous style that it took with going into it, in the sense that you were very aware from the get-go that this wasn't a serious look at this situation. It was very much almost like a troll through a Wikipedia page. There's no hard digging in this. It's just, if The Big Short was a look into the financial crash, this is like the little investigation. There's not a lot there, but it's fun going along the journey. I have a major issue with one of the bits of it, but it's nothing to do with the film. It's a sidestep of the film.
Choice, isn't it?
It's a choice that the film makes. I have a major fucking criticism and issue with. But in the film, I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It helps by the fact that it's 95 minutes long. I think if you were trying to go for this shtick for 2 hours, it has run out of steam. You kept pointing out that the fact that Gary Oldman, it looked like he'd put on too much weight since he had his costumes fitted.
Yeah, it's not throughout though, because if it was throughout, you'd be like, oh, well, clearly that's a choice they've made. But there's one particular shot of him and Antonio Banderas stood next to each other, and his jacket's just, it's not even buttoned up. He can't button it up.
It's buttoned up, but the buttons are bulging out there. Yeah, it is a bit weird. But I liked them two in it. I liked. I thought all performances were good in it. It was fun, and it was light, and it was airy. You didn't learn anything from it, but it was a fun time to spend with it.
I don't know that's. Well, no, you don't really learn anything from the movie, but
it's a fun way to show people that information.
Yeah, and it made me, because I don't know anything about the whole Panama Papers thing, and it's made me come away and go, I might do some reading up on that, because that sounds quite interesting. And, you know, if that's the case, if that's what it's going for, like trying to like educate people and get people thinking about stuff like that, well, it's worked to an extent. It hasn't done it itself, but it's made me want to go away and find more out about it. And I think, and this is directly borrowed from The Big Short, but like the explanations bit was quite good.
Yeah.
Like it again, like The Big Short, it's really quite dry subject matter.
Yeah.
And it's done a good job of making it accessible and putting it into layman's terms and actually making it interesting.
A thing that I always have with Netflix films is, and it might be an unfair way to kind of judge them. I don't judge them solely on this, but I do always look at it afterwards and go, right, would I have been pissed off if I'd had to pay to see that in the cinema?
Yeah.
And with this, absolutely not.
No.
It's a great time. I'm a little bit gutted that I didn't get to see this in a cinema. I'd have come out of this going, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that at a cinema.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you think, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting that about the cinema point. I mean, I would have liked to have seen it in the cinema as well, but the stark digital cinematography that Soderbergh kind of specializes in these days, and the very kind of static shots, I'm not entirely sure that they're particularly cinematic. I don't know, it all felt very kind of reined in. I mean, even though then again the kind of the China sequence towards the end kind of had a bit more going for it there. But yeah, I really liked it. I mean, out of the Soderbergh films this year, High Flying Bird's kind of still my one. Really looking forward to rewatching that for end of the year discussion actually. But yeah, I had a good deal of fun with this, and it's the fact that it's one of those films where it could be like eating your vegetables, but they don't present it like that in the slightest. It was great. I mean, sometimes I kind of thought it maybe lost its own point a little bit, like the thread with the guy who was banging his daughter's friend, and
Yeah.
like it was okay. So what's this about then? Like because
that has nothing to do with the actual story. It's another story in completely.
Yeah, because I mean, it starts with them saying like, well, not all the people that we help are
criminals.
Are criminals. This guy, he's done nothing wrong. But then it ends with, well, he moved all the money out of the company, so the shares were worthless.
Yeah, and you watch it going. So hang on a minute, you're an incredibly wealthy person who makes his money in Africa. You're already thinking, right, there's very few people that make an enormous amount of money in Africa who aren't criminals in some way.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like at the end of that bit, it was like, okay, so what did those guys essentially advise him to, or facilitate him basically making the company worthless? Or because Gary Oldman's in that bit at the end, basically going, okay, this is how much the company's worth.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, what was he bringing to the table then? Because he kind of seems like he's the head of this firm, but he's doing this job where it kind of seems like someone 5 rungs down could be doing for him, but he's doing it instead. So I kind of lost the thread there of what exactly did they do for him apart from hold his money. It's just I thought it was like that self-contained story. I thought it was interesting, and I kind of like the punchline-y bit of, okay, well, the daughter doesn't tell, but the best friend just fucking blabs.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed that, but the Meryl Streep stuff I thought was stronger. The sequence at the end with Matthias Schoenaerts getting fucking poisoned by that woman was great. Like just the way that she threatened the whole threatening thing, and then withholding that water until he basically says, no, I'm not going to do what you're saying I'm going to do, and then letting him have the rat poison.
Yeah, as well. I enjoyed that because you know what's happening as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like, this guy's obviously a scumbag. So at first you're kind of like, well, good on them for standing their ground. And it's like, oh no shit, they are fucked up people. Yeah. It's so I enjoyed it. I'm the fact that I just watched it at home on Netflix is, I mean, what a fucking charmed world we are in. Yeah. Say what you want about the sanctity of the big screen experience, and I do very much believe in that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing The Irishman on the big screen. But the fact that new Soderbergh film with Meryl Streep and Oldman and Banderas, yeah, just watch it at home.
Yeah,
it's great, So yeah, it was a good time, but it made me just go, I really want to watch High Flying Bird again.
Is that basketball?
Yeah. Can I come my issue?
Yeah, go for it.
Right. There's a trend at the moment in cinema at the moment to have your big female star play multiple characters. Right? Now, there's also been a criticism for a number of years, and Meryl Streep has actually spoken about this.
Okay.
Right? Meryl Streep is the Hollywood darling. Everybody loves her. I personally don't think she's all that. And I thought she was very good in this. I must add that. I don't think Meryl Streep is a bad actress. I just don't think she's all that. And I find her an irritating person.
Yeah.
But she has a habit of backing every cause going. So a number of years ago, she backed cause about there not being a lot of roles for older actresses. That all roles are written for younger, prettier people, etc. And she was quite hard adding on that. Now this is Meryl Streep, who one of the criticisms people had of Meryl Streep for that was, right, but you're not fucking going to struggle for roles, are you, Meryl? that doesn't affect you. Her thing was, no, but it affects people of my gender, and it affects me because I care about how my profession is done.
Yeah.
All fair enough.
Yeah.
So that role could have gone to a completely different actress, but no, I'll do both these roles to get to have fun with prosthetics.
You don't know that was her choice.
What?
To play that role.
Oh, no one fucking forced her to do it, Becky. No one forced Meryl Streep to play a role that she don't want to play.
I'm not saying that, but I'm
I find the whole with the Suspiria thing and Tilda Swinton playing 75 different fucking roles in that. It feels a little bit like it feels a little bit wanky.
It does feel wanky, yeah.
Yeah, it feels a little bit circle jerky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like the snake eating its own tail nature of her playing those roles, but as soon as she's on screen, it's just like, what the fuck is Meryl Streep doing there?
Yeah, that's it. The thing is, it's not even because there was an almost cleverness in the Suspiria ones with what is it? In the fact that you knew it was, but you were going. The fact that you knew beforehand, I think, altered it. I think if you didn't know beforehand, you'd be going, hang on a minute, is that what is it?
Yeah.
Whereas with this, you go, why is that Meryl Streep?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not even good prosthetics.
No.
It's clearly Meryl Streep. And it just irked me in the sense of, why?
It almost made me think, what, are they going to reveal that Meryl Streep's character at the start has been playing some sort of fucking long game, and this isn't a linear narrative? It's going to turn out that this old woman disguised herself as what
would have been better. But it's just Meryl Streep, and then at the end of it, she's just fucking Meryl Streep.
But I don't know. I like the way that it's her being the made up character, obviously, but the anonymous source. And it's like that she's representing people who have been affected by this, like Meryl Streep's other character. It is wanky. It is fucking wanky, but at least I think the explanation for why they did it is probably valid. Whereas with Suspiria, it's like Tilda Swinton played the old doctor as well because she's Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, but I can see your point. It's a trend that I kind of want to end now.
No, totally fair.
I want it to be done. I'm kind of done with it. In the same way as I'm getting a little bit fed up of getting up in a cinema and going, oh fuck, can we just check to see if it's got a post credits bit?
Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's a definite not shit for me. I had a really good time with it.
Indeed, definitely not shit.
Yeah, definitely not shit.
I'm going to check what our audience vote was.
I thought you were checking to see if there was post-credit on Laundromat.
No. Okay. Definitely not shit, 0%.
Oh, wow.
Touching cloth, 25%. And shit, 75%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is, actually. Yeah. That's weird, though. Fair enough.
Maybe because it's like a budget Netflix version of The Big Short, really. Like, it's not... It's very, very, very heavily... I wouldn't even say borrowed, actually. Copied The Big Short.
Oh, yes. It is.
And when it's a director like Soderbergh, maybe people expect more?
I think it actually even references The Big Short on it. So what is it? Yeah, literally the IMDb bio for it, the profile for it is, in this Big Short-esque dramedy based on the Mozart forensic scandal.
There you go. So.
On the what scandal, babe?
What?
On the what scandal?
I wasn't going to go there.
That's fine. That's not what you said. You said like Moses Ferreira or something a second ago.
I trailed off
on the Ferrero Rocher scandal.
get fucking bullied on this a lot. Fucking Noel was having pops at me on fucking WhatsApp the other day about it.
About what? Your lack of ability to pronounce words?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It will never get better than Digimon Honsune. Just. Okay, so let's get into our Patron review. We're taking a look at Terry Gilliam's Brazil. Stars Jonathan Pryce, Robert De Niro, Bob Hoskins, Michael Palin, Ian Holm. Who am I missing?
Bob Hoskins. No, he did Bob Hoskins, didn't we? Kim Greist.
Oh, Kim Greist, yep, of course. That'll do. So yeah, Brazil. It's a classic. Who nominated this?
Was it Rick J. Kidd?
Oh, it wasn't. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because last week wasn't Rick J. Kidd, but then yeah, totally. So Rick, here we go. Brazil. Bex, Brazil. I know you were really, really up for this. So has it lived up to what you remembered?
Just very quickly, Ian. Did you watch the director's cut or
the 2 hour 20 odd?
Yeah, 2 hour 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did we?
Yeah, on Amazon. Yeah.
We watched it on Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray is what is it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's the one I watched.
It's a beautiful steelbook as well, isn't it?
It's a good looking steelbook.
Yeah. I love Brazil. I absolutely love it. It's Gilliam, which, you know, I don't think there's a single Terry Gilliam film I've seen that I don't love a little bit. But Brazil is just fantastic because it's essentially it's another one of my favourite things thrown in there as well, because it's basically like a reimagining of 1984, which you know, it's just brilliant. Like every little bit of it is brilliant. The weird sort of model work bit where they've got the chimneys and they're all painted with clouds and it looks like it's just like an actual place, and then the guy pops his head over the top and it's like a model thing that's been done for this new place. It's just like little stupid bits like that are just like the whimsicalness of it is, you know, with such a really it's quite a heavy subject matter, and it's a bleak ending. I forgot that it had such a bleak ending, to be fair. But yeah, it lifts it a little bit and makes it more palatable, I suppose. Because 1984 it's a great film, but it's a bit of a slog. But it deals with the same subject matter in a much lighter way. That make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So she sat there silently.
I'm just listening to him.
Oh. And he's the thing with his mum, like constantly getting more and more surgery. And the thing with the poor friend that's supposed to be like a cautionary tale against capitalism, because she's just getting more work done and it keeps going more and more wrong, which keeps like plugging away at it. Yeah.
Nice. Mark.
I don't like it as much as you. Right.
Yeah,
is the thing. I found that as I've got older, Gilliam has worked less for me.
Yeah, you don't have an awful lot of patience for Terry Gilliam, do you?
The thing is, I used to really, really like Gilliam films.
Mm.
But the more I've gone away from, the more I've got older, the less kind of patience I have for it. It looks great. It does. The whole, I like the world building of it all. The fact that it's physical things. You know, what's killed Gilliam is the fact is now that you can do all of that with computers, and he can't do that. You know, he proved it with Dr. Parnassus.
Parnassus is good.
But it looks like shit.
It does compare to his other stuff. Yeah.
You know, I've leveled a similar thing at Tim Burton. You know, the fact that there's no tangible physical thing that has to get built, and it's just they can build whatever's in their imagination. that there's no limitations, and limitations is how these people work best. You know, if you give people an imagination to go run with it and do whatever you can imagine, it'll look like shit. It'll look like a kid's painting, like shit. But if you then have to sort of work within a framework of what's possible, then you get something that looks as good as Brazil with all of that ingenuity, or 12 Monkeys and things like that. But I did find watching this, I did pause it at one point because we had to get a drink or a bathroom or something like that, and I had a look at how long was left and was like, holy shit, has this only been on an hour and a quarter? And I was well aware that I was watching a really long film, and it was starting to wear on me a little bit. It possibly might not have been if it was my first watch of it. I love De Niro in it. I think Jonathan Pryce is fantastic in it.
De Niro's a weird one for being in this. It's a really weird little turn from him.
He just wanted to work with Gilliam.
Yeah.
It's like when he plays a gay pirate in Stardust, and it's like he obviously just fancied working with Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah.
That was it. It was.
He's good in Stardust, actually.
He wanted to work. He wanted to work with Gilliam. The part if you read any of the what is it about it that Gilliam speaks about it, he always says, "I really like Robert De Niro. I really like as a person. And what is it? But it's a nightmare to work with that man.
Yeah.
Because he works differently. So basically, he works differently to the way that I work. So he wanted to know what does that pipe do, and what does that pipe do? What are all these pipes supposed to be doing? What's going on here? He said, all I'm there saying, there's just a lot of pipes. There's just a lot of pipes. Why is there a lot of pipes? Because there is. Because there's a lot of pipes. Right. But why is there that pipe? There's just a lot of pipes, Robert. And
they're just nightmarish pipes, Bob.
It was like
just get on it. Just get on it.
Like, right. But so what am I fitting here? To bypass it. What's it bypassing?
The pipe.
It's just passing. It's just bypassing two things. But why would he be doing that? It was two different worlds colliding, and they didn't work together. So, but De Niro always goes, I love working with it. I love working on it. It was weird working on something that was different to what I was used to. So you've got those juxtapositions of worlds. But yeah, I do like it, and it is a good film. I did struggle with it a little bit on this watch. Ian.
You're a Philistine.
It's not a Philistine.
It is.
Kind of the same as Mark. Sorry, Bex. I really, really like Brazil. I mean, like the world building of this fucking film is among some of the most impressive you'll ever see. But I was very aware that I was watching a film that was nearly 2.5 hours long. And to be honest, I think a lot of that comes down to Jonathan Pryce. He's a bit of a wet blanket of a character who is supposed to be like an everyman, and he's having all these dreams of like defeating a bad guy and winning the girl, but then it never really seems to follow through in his actions, even though he's doing kind of like what seem to be kind of heroic things. He's, like I say, such a fucking wet blanket that he needs other people to enable things for him constantly. And I mean, maybe that's just a comment on the kind of the world in which he is, but I'm not going to take the job in information retrieval, and it's like, but he'll find out who she is. Okay, I'll take the job in information retrieval. And there's the sequence where he goes to give the check to the widow, and he's in information. No, what is it? Yeah, no, he said he's going to take the job, and he gives her that check, and then he's saying, well, I'm not from information retrieval. They're the ones who balls this up. I'm from information blah blah blah. And it's like he's too pussy to even admit of like where he actually works. And I never got the sense that he was with her for her crusade.
It's just he's trying to find her so he can fuck her.
Oh yeah.
Like that's like all the kind of like the writing "love you" on the windshield. It's like, no, you literally have just been dreaming of this woman and you want to have sex with her. And the way, and I don't know, yes, the film has a dark ending, but it kind of feels like the ending that character's slightly, well, maybe not deserves, but deserves more than I think the film wants you to think he does. And I think
Theorem in a lot of ways, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, it's not because of Jonathan Pryce. It just, he's this character that everything seems to happen to him, even though he's driving the plot, and yet that just seems to be the case. And I think he's swallowed up by an awful lot of what's around him, but a lot of that is good. De Niro is great in his couple scenes. Any scene with the mum is fucking brilliant. I suppose there's a question of when exactly does it all become a dream? Is it only when they're abseiling down, and then from there it's a dream, or is there an insinuation that it could have been earlier? I mean, what are the thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the sort of thing that I take from it is because obviously he leans towards him with the tool that they use for lobotomies, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then they abseil down. I think that's supposed to be where, because he carried out the lobotomy, and then that from there on it's fantasy.
Yeah, because he didn't get shot, does he?
But then he's dreaming of that baby face mask earlier on in the film. Like he's having dreams of like the kind of like the people in the slums reaching out to get him.
Yeah.
And the baby face mask is there. And but then it's almost like, okay, so even in his dreams he's a fucking wet blanket. It's because he shags her before the lobotomy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Or like so, but it's almost like I don't get how she is suddenly into him. It's I mean I gave this film a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, but the more I'm kind of talking about it, it's like the narrative. I mean, the individual scenes are great, but I don't think it makes a cohesive whole. But from a cinematic point of view, it's a fucking astounding piece of work. But for a film that is as long as it is, I needed more meat on the bone there, because I get, after the first half hour, I get the point. This is a bureaucratic state which is an absolute nightmare for people. Okay, fine. And then you've got these terrorists and whatnot, and it's, well, he kind of joins them, but it's more that he sympathizes with them but really wants to fuck the girl. That's not enough for me to latch onto. So, Bex, this film is shit.
I mean, it's not.
It's not. It just... I'm not entirely sure that it's what its reputation is, but from what they actually managed to do on screen, I do kind of get it.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think it's, like I said, it's a film where I don't think I'll watch again, or I won't watch again for a very long time, because every time I've watched it, it's kind of lost a half star. It's still a 4 out of 5 movie for me. It's still very, very good, because there's so much going on, and so much of the frame is taken up with every shot with something going on. That's for sure. But I think I'm looking at going, do you know what? I have already seen all that. A little bit. Oh.
No, you're entitled to your wrong opinions. That's fine. I don't get it really. I don't get. I suppose because I disagree with you, I'm just sat going, well, no, what's wrong?
Well, I mean, were you into Jonathan Pryce's character?
It's weird. He's a normal guy living in a world.
But he's not normal. That's the thing. He's not normal. He's an overprivileged guy trying to live a normal guy's life while still enjoying all the privileges. He's not a normal guy.
But he's a normal guy in the sense that he's not like not any special powers, not superhero.
No, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to worry as much about the bureaucratic nonsense because it doesn't affect him as much.
But he still has to work within its framework.
Yeah, but he's happy working at the low end of the framework and having no what is it? Because that's where it affects him least, and clearly that financially it's not a problem for him.
I'm just saying, like when you're saying like he's a wet blanket and stuff like that. He's just a normal dude. Like not everyone is a hero in all situations. Not everyone knows how to act in that way, I guess. He's just acting like a normal guy would act. Like if you were in a department, you're in a department store and a bomb went off, you'd fucking duck and go cower under a table somewhere in real life. You probably would like to think that you wouldn't, but most people would.
But I mean, I don't get why that would make a character interesting to spend this amount of time with.
I think there's a counterpoint, I suppose. We're that used to spending time in these types of situations with hero-like people, that it's kind of interesting spending time with somebody who isn't in any way heroic or anything like that. It is quite... It's a novelty thing. I think that Gilliam likes doing that. He likes superimposing the weird on the weird. I think that's kind of what he's gone for here. I think with Gilliam, he's one of those people, one of those filmmakers where I think he either gets you or he doesn't. You love Gilliam, don't you?
Yeah.
Whereas I am very much like 10 years ago, yeah, I did, but for some reason it doesn't click with me anymore. And I wonder if I was watching these movies now for the first time, whether they click with me differently or whether or not they just wouldn't click with me at all. That's it, I suppose, I think.
I think as well, Jonathan Pryce, his character in this is not what you're watching it for. You're not watching it for his character arc. It's the world around it that he lives within that you're watching it for.
Yeah.
And the comments that it's making about society as a whole, and the society that, well, at the time probably seemed really far away, but becomes more and more prescient the more time goes by. But it's the dangers of over-regulation and regimentation and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I just and I take your point that it's not necessarily about price, and it's about just kind of I don't know, being a passenger in this world. But it's I don't know. The way that he's having these dreams of in this kind of like angel costume and kind of getting the girl and having that fight with that samurai looking dude. It would have been nice if he wasn't fucking crying after his mum like 2.25 hours into the film. I mean, it's like one of the last things before like the final like shot plays out is him like basically asking his mother for his help and his mum telling him to fuck off. I I kind of want that character to have more balls than that. It just, I'm getting hung up on that, but it bothers me. But the fact that this film is 35 years old at this point,
yeah,
and has this level of visual information and world building, can't go unheralded. And it's just a shame that Terry Gilliam is kind of doing what he's doing now. It's like he makes The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, which just doesn't seem to get a release anywhere. I mean, that played LFF last year, and I think it still doesn't have distribution in the UK.
No, it don't. It's mental.
But I mean, Zero Theorem got released by Sony over here, so there's obviously still some sort of cachet to the guy.
I don't like him.
I can't remember what I thought of Zero Theorem. We reviewed it, didn't we?
You reviewed it, yeah. I think I enjoyed it more than you, but you didn't hate it.
Yeah, I remember being the only person in the cinema watching it.
I think I was as well. I think we remember the conversation about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Brazil feels like a very expensive, almost series of Monty Python skits, but more disturbing than that. And with a hell of an ending. Like those the baby face masks, still creepy. And just that last shot is fucking chilling.
It's mental the budget for this was 15 million.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's testament to Gilliam's kind of almost like handmade style.
Yeah,
I love the.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry. And I just some of the silly comedy about it, like where he's in that lift and he sees her, and he's just trying to make the lift go down. And he's trying to make the lift go up, and it just like the way it keeps on stopping, like the way that everything is against him, and it's like basically symbolized just via a lift that won't get him in the direction he wants to go in. Great stuff, and there's loads of really great moments in this, but as I say, I'm not.
Hello.
But also credit to. Passive aggressive repairman. Sorry, Beck, Scott.
Bob Hoskins is great. What?
I wasn't saying that. I just said hello because Ian disappeared.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, you're a bit in and out. That's all.
Okay, sorry. I don't think I was saying anything that I hadn't already said anyway. So yeah, I mean. Have some opposing points of view.
Cool. You literally dipped out really there, and we got opposing points of view at the end.
Yeah. I was just saying, I like definitely not shit, but I had to be a cunt by offering opposing points of view.
Yeah, I'm definitely not shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
And we're guessing you are, Becky.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've just realised that. Remembered that The Fisher King exists, and now I need to watch that at some point in the next week. So,
fair enough.
Yeah. I get a bit.
Sweet. Right. Let's have some questions. What we got?
Well, our question for our listeners this week was, what are your favourite movie posters? So, Rick, Nick said this is on my wall for years. Put the train spot in one.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I had that as well. But whilst I'd never owned a copy, I've always thought this was great, and he put the Rosemary's Babies one.
That is a good poster, actually.
Gareth Clark at Clark73 said, love the Bond franchise, and the Moe posters promise so much. Yeah, Bond has had some good posters over the years. Bex, what are yours? Should any that come to mind?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
I love my Blade Runner poster.
So the particular Final Cut one, or any of the other ones, or
That one. That's the classic one, isn't it?
that's the Final Cut one?
Yeah, but that's the one, like, if
Yeah,
you think Blade
it's-
Runner poster, and our Japanese Totoro one is up there as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's specifically that particular poster rather than...
But it's that drawing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That because it's not actually the image from the film.
No.
The Totoro poster.
It was done as a...
It was done before the film, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a drawing because it's not actually what's happening in the thing.
No.
Because she's got a sister on the back in the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not there. Ian, what are your favourite movie posters?
Alien's big one for me.
I knew you were going to go with Alien with that, yeah.
Yeah, the egg and the grate under it, and the in space, no one can hear you scream. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of I might have a Die Hard poster for some reason.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know why.
What's that then?
Die Hard poster.
Oh, Die Hard. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Halloween one's great. We've got it up here.
Yeah,
it's a
really
fucking
good
great poster. Jaws was a cracking poster.
Mm.
You know, and all the the time we had like hand animated posters, like for instance, what's it as a great poster? Christmas Vacation has a fucking great poster of him as the fucking Christmas tree. Yeah, that's the Die Hard one. Yeah, I like that. It's a just. And the reason why I picked this as a question is because we had, for instance, earlier this week the Charlie's Angels poster came out, and it looks like it was designed by an intern whilst they were taking a shit. It's kind of like there used to be a big thing, posters.
Yeah.
And now they're either, you have the formulaic as fuck Marvel ones that are just boring, or you have these slapped together crapness of things like the Charlie's Angels one that I'm just showing Becky now.
Oh, that's horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no thought that goes into them. They're just done in minutes.
Badly photoshopped crap in it.
Yeah. I think we need to go back to the proper posters.
Proper posters.
Yeah. Proper posters for proper movies.
Yeah.
Back when people cared. So yeah, questions. We do have a few actually.
Excellent.
Gareth Clark at Clark73. Money's no object. What piece of film memorabilia / merchandise would you own?
I own a stunt battery pack attachment from Sunshine.
Oh, you do, don't you? Yeah.
Fucking nerd.
And I'm set. I own something that was used on Sunshine. I'm spent.
What's yours, Beck?
Can it be imaginary? Can I have the cyborg snake out of
I mean,
Blade Runner?
it's a real thing, though.
It's not cyborg, is it?
You can't have you can't have an imaginary prop. No, you can't have something you can't have something from the movie. You could have that prop.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. Yeah. It's got to be Rambo's knife, hasn't it?
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
It's got to be Rambo's knife.
On the bow and arrow.
I think the bow and arrow would be cool, but the knife.
The knife.
Yeah.
The headband. The actual.
I have a
headband.
feeling that'd smell terrible.
Yeah.
At least the knife you could hold and go, holy fucking shit. I mean, granted, you would look at me and go, oh my god, he's going to cut himself so much with that.
Yeah. Cut yourself angrily washing up earlier in the week, didn't you?
I did cut myself angrily washing up earlier in the week. Andrew Jones, you're drunk, it's late. This is quite accurate, yes. You're lost out in the middle of nowhere. Which film character do you call to give you help? I mean, it's Winston Wolfe, isn't it?
I don't know who that is.
From Pulp Fiction.
I'm going to Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken's a strong shout, actually.
I was Jack Burton, but then...
See, mine would be... I was joking with Winston Wolfe one for what is it? Mine would be Jack Burton.
You'd have a fun time with Jack Burton.
Yeah. I don't think you'd get home.
He'd probably bring you another sixer.
Yeah. It'd have to be Jack Burton and Wong.
What?
Is it Wong? The guy's called. The other guy in Big Trouble in Little China.
Chen.
Is it Chen?
Yeah.
One was called Wong. Wang. That's it. Yeah, Wang.
Wang. No.
Yeah.
Wang.
Yeah. Wasn't there a film called The Emergence of Wang or something like that? There was.
You on about his friend guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant what's it? The bus driver man.
Yeah. There was Ian. Before you give us your answer, there was a film that was playing at Fright Fest a couple of years ago when we were there that was called something like The
Arrival of Wang.
Arrival of Wang, that was it, yeah. And we look, that was, yeah, The Arrival of Wang.
Nice.
Cool. What's yours, Ian?
Because I would say Reese Witherspoon in Wild because of her incredible sense of direction, but it's Reese Witherspoon.
you just leave her.
I wouldn't say Emil Hirsch in Into the Wild because I'd be dead.
Yeah. Eat these berries. Are you sure? Yeah.
It's like Jack Burton's a good shout though. Wang. No, Short Round.
Fair play. Ethan Embar, Ethan Bar too. I'm in Germany visiting.
Not even dignifying that with a response. Just laughing and moving on.
Yeah. I'm in Germany visiting a big castle. Favourite scenes / films set in or around a castle.
What's that horror film we watched with the monks and the castle and stuff? That's good. There's a demon.
Keep going.
That's all I've got.
When's it from?
Oh, what? Right.
Because I have one.
Favourite scene / films. Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Mine's In the Name of the Rose. The Sean Connery, Christian Slater movie.
Is In the Name of the Rose the one that's got a weird other name?
I don't know. Is it?
I think so.
Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines.
Yeah, Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. What's yours, Ian?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Fair play.
Shit still makes me laugh. Always will. So.
Monty Python's funny.
Yeah, I love Terry Gilliam, but I've never. Well, I used to when I was a kid. Used to like Monty Python films, not the sketches. But I just they're a bit needy. Like, they're like, oh my god, find us funny. They're like a puppy.
I think it was the fact. I think my thing was I went to college with people that really, really liked them and would quote them to each other all the time, and it was like I never need to fucking see one of these movies again because you have ruined them for me.
Yeah.
Rick Kidd at Rick J Kidd.
You never did yours.
I did In the Name of the Rose.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
Which is also, I think, Ron Perlman's first movie.
Aww.
As we're approaching Halloween, if you were curating a 5 horror film programme for a movie night, what films would you include to provide a varied catalogue of the various horror subgenres?
Halloween, Evil Dead 2, Ring. Texas Chainsaw, Alien.
Trick or Treat's got to be in a Halloween movie playlist.
What else from there?
Halloween.
Yeah, so Halloween, I'd have Halloween. I'd have Evil Dead 2.
Mm.
I'd also have Candyman.
Oh yeah, good thinking.
I'd have Deep Red.
Yeah. That's magnificent.
And Twin Peaks Fire Water. Texas Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw's a good shout.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of that. That's fine.
I'll have your first 4, but with Trick or Treat.
Is that having Twin Peaks Fire Water?
No.
Fair enough.
I want one to watch on Halloween.
Right. Yeah, that last question.
Ah.
Good questions though this week.
Yeah, no.
Oh, thank you very much for that, guys.
Yeah, thank you for the effort, folks. I'm sorry I was looking at Sunshine props. That was bad of me. So, coming up next week, for patrons, you've got a Terminator retrospective along with a review of Terminator Dark Fate. For non-patrons, you've got the review of Dark Fate. You'll also get Zombieland Double Tap and anything else we get to. Not entirely sure when episodes will be released next week because obviously we're travelling up to Jordan's wedding, and you know it's going to take me significantly longer to get there and back than it is for other folks. So it is what it is. How long is it going to take you guys to get there?
Traffic permitting, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours.
Nice.
How long's your journey?
So I've got quite a prolonged stopover in Manchester, but it's going to take me like from door to door about 8 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Does that include your? What time you setting off on Thursday morning?
Sorry?
What time are you setting off Thursday morning?
I'll be out the door about 8 o'clock on Thursday morning.
Yikes.
And you're not getting there till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Shit, it's like 8 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But then again, last time, because of various accidents and a billion road works, I think it took me 5.5 hours to get there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I got the coach last time, and literally the coach from Cardiff to Manchester took about 6.5 hours.
What I will say is, me and Becky are actually planning on possibly doing some recording in the car on our way there.
Oh, bloody hell. Okay.
Yeah. So that we'll work that out, how we're going to work that.
Oh, just come to Manchester and pick me up.
I did think about that, but the problem is it's a complete fucking 2-hour journey the way.
I've done it for you, Mark. Thing is, you know I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But, we were younger, stupider men.
Yes.
You'll only be an hour out of your way, Ian.
I genuinely did think it was only an hour out of your way, though.
I ran over a partridge on that drive.
It was a fun drive, though. We had a good laugh.
It took a part of my car off. You weren't in the car then. It was on the other leg. Fucking ran over a partridge and it fucking took a part of my car off. That's, that was a good fuck you from that partridge.
Yeah, it was a bit of a, that's what I think I do for that partridge.
Anyway. That was episode 320 of Film Bastards. I'm sorry, I started really high energy and I really fucking went the opposite end by the end of the show. I'm so sorry. But we've been recording for nearly 3 hours. So,
How about it?
Back off. So that will be it. We'll speak to you guys next week. And Pod Syndicate, we are podsyndicate.com, at Film Bastards, at Ian Loring, at Dude Foz, at Betsy Foz, filmbastards@gmail.com, and we are out.
Bye.
Bye.
podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.